In a shocking shakeup, Bob Iger is back at Disney. Iger named CEO as Bob Chapek is ousted from the company. Some experts saying that Iger is, quote, the steady hand that Disney needs to get back on track. There have been many changes to the company after cost-cutting measures were put in place and prices went up at the theme parks. Disney's streaming business lost $1.5 billion in the fourth quarter. So what does Iger need to do first? No, I don't care about that. I want to talk about something else with our panel. So let's bring in our panel, Florida businessman and GOP strategist Ford O'Connell, the host of Money Talk with Melanie Collette, and former New York City Commissioner under Mayors Bloomberg and Giuliani, Brian Anderson. So Ford, I wanted to talk to you about this because I want to remind people of the politics involved here, that this is a company that took on Ron DeSantis and lost.
Well, look, the sacking of Disney CEO Bob Chapek is a major political victory for Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. It's also a shot across the bow at woke corporatism. I think this is really a tacit admission that Disney has kind of learned its lesson about wading into issues of sex education when it comes to really young children. I will say this, though. Bob Iger, the new CEO, is not exactly a Reagan Republican either. He's kind of an institutional wokester. I think what you're going to see is him trying to thread the needle between the demands of corporate wokeism and really reality in a lot of the states that they do business. Because remember, Florida has really been good to Disney, particularly during the COVID shutdowns. And if it wasn't for Florida, Disney might be in even more trouble when it comes to its bottom line.
Yeah, and we haven't, Melanie, even mentioned all the tax breaks that Disney has gotten for decades that suddenly were put at risk because they decided to tangle with the wrong guy.
Exactly. And what corporations need to acknowledge and understand is that people on both sides of the aisle, people of many different ideologies, thoughts, and beliefs will patronize Disney. Stay out of politics. Keep your mouth shut and write songs and make movies and do what it is that you all do and stay out of the political arena.
Yeah, now there are certain exceptions that you could make, like if it's a platform like Twitter or something, you could see that might be the political questions attached to whether they're stifling free speech, that sort of thing. But I just feel, Brian, yeah, make what you make. Offer the services you offer, and if people like them, they will buy them. And stop getting involved with the politics of it. Especially this backfired on Disney because I think they thought, oh, we have all these woke employees, so we're going to stand up for them. And they didn't play it right anyway because DeSantis' so-called "Don't Say Gay" bill, it's not about not saying gay.
Didn't say that.
It's essentially keeping elementary school kids from discussing sexual things that are inappropriate anyway. That's my interpretation.
Well, look, you run an amusement park. And by the way, you charge upwards of $100 to $189, I understand, right?
Yeah.
So you run an amusement park. Just run the amusement park.
Right.
What goes on in the political world?
Well, they do the movies.
Why?
They do all kinds of stuff for kids.
For kids, right. Where did that go wrong? Well, they found out how that went wrong. So hopefully Bob Iger can come in and correct some of it. Maybe, maybe not, but it's in their best interest to do so.
Yeah, and I do think, Melanie, that this is a message that goes beyond just Disney. People need to get back to doing what they do.
Exactly. And the free market is going to decide whether or not they like the content.
Right.
If Disney wants to continue to throw, some woke lefty stuff in their movies and people are going to continue to not go see movies that have that kind of content because they don't want their kids exposed to that kind of stuff, that's what will happen. Disney had a pretty good formula that's been working well since my daddy took me to see Fantasia in the 70s. I think they should just stick to what they do best.
Yeah, and Ford, I took my daughters to go meet the princesses. They had the lunch with the princesses at Disney. I think we went to Disneyland, not Disney World, and it's just a kids thing. I don't like the idea that they become political or talk about things that are inappropriate at a certain age. That's not the Disney. And I always think, what would the founder of Disney, Walt Disney himself, his head would have exploded and said, get back to doing what we do.
Bob, Walt Disney is rolling over in his grave several times over in what has become the state of Disney, and I think Melanie's right about that. Where Brian's right is, hold on for a second. We are talking about sex education in public schools and what is socially acceptable for kids from kindergarten to third grade. This is a company that sells theme park experiences to middle America and exclusively markets products to children. I just want to know, who ever thought that this was the right idea? Forget politics. This specific political issue, it is absolute insanity. And frankly, I'm glad they're paying the price, and hopefully they've woken up.
Yeah, and for those that are looking at, oh, their streaming businesses, spending a lot of money, they're not making you're kind of missing the story. And if you do, down the road, you'll suffer once again. Stand by, everybody. We're going to take a break here and come back.